thing that Trump sued for in terms of discrimination?
Yes.
Where it doesn't say 1997.
Yeah, it's right under the 1973 housing thing. Are you on Donald Trump on civil rights on the issues?
Hold up, here we are. Oh my God, the source is Trump's book, or a book about Trump from Mark Fisher and Michael Kranish. That's the source.
Book. It's a book about him, though. Looks like.
No,
But
yes,
I mean,
and I said a book about him. That's what I meant to say.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, read it for us.
Yeah, no, there's not enough. You want me to read the book?
No, just the little article about about that case, about how he pushed to
There's no little article. It's about a paragraph of what's it called? What's it called? It's about him allowing people into his own. It's not a civil dispute or anything like that, or a lawsuit. It's literally just him allowing in the 90s.
He pushed
people
town
who are
council,
Jewish and people who are black into Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just allowed them in.
Wait, appalled by Trump's wait. Appalled by Trump's wait, Jude. You actually want me to read this? Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Can I veto it or no?
Appalled by Trump's ostentatious behavior at Mar-a-Lago, the Palm Beach Town Council handed him a list of restrictions it was imposing on membership. But Trump took his battle to the court of public opinion. His sent every member of town council copies of the two classic movies about discrimination, who pretend to be Jewish to expose anti-Semitism. Bringing back the point was clear and painful. The town's political leaders for turning a quiet stretch of noisy party. No matter Trump's tactic work, over time he got most of the restrictions lifted. That's about all it says. And that's, again, sourced specifically from this book about Trump. And that's about it. There's no legal papers that you could reference. And these are like op-eds. Where are the legal papers?
That one's tough to find.
What's that?
The legal papers are tough to find.
So he was sued for this, and he just countersued. Is that what all it is here?
No, he sued. They put restrictions on his club, and he says, "Hey, because he was the only club allowing blacks and Jews into private clubs."
Don't say that. Do not say black with the S at the end. That's actually.
I think what they're trying to reference is back when he was like sued a bunch. Remember, his apartment buildings and stuff were sued, so his strategy, which he's always been good at optics, we know that his strategy is always to come back with a bunch of countersuits to try and make it seem like, oh, we're top dog, we win. So I think if I recall correctly, they're probably referencing that time he got sued a crap ton, and then he just tried to come back with a bunch of countersuits.
Yeah, that's what it does sound like. It's like a countersuit.
No, there was restrictions on his club, and they did it because he was the only club.
What restrictions on his club?
I don't know the exact restrictions.
I don't think that there was government restrictions on the club. It was just not.
It was like the city council.
It wasn't the norm, I believe. I don't know. You may be right.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
I believe he was the first club within the area of the Florida area to allow
of Palm Beach.
Two groups of people to enter. That it was not the norm. I don't know that it had anything to do with government or anything else.
There was like private memberships, and no other clubs would allow private memberships or minorities.
So to clarify, I just want to clarify. You're being like he's not racist. People into Mar-a-Lago.
He was the only private club that allowed it.
Unbelievable.
He was a pioneer for them to get into.
That's not being a pioneer. What are you talking about, dude? What are you saying?
Yeah, because all the clubs had to follow suit after the lawsuit. All the clubs started following.
In what area?
So he was the first one.
In what area?
In the Palm Beach area, where all these private membership, like high value clubs are, where all these rich people have these private clubs.
Where does it say that?
Bro, I've read it. I mean, I can keep looking.
I have a question. Do you not consider it racist to say that Barack Obama was born in Kenya to undermine him running and being the president of the United States? When there's a birth certificate of him born in the United States?
He retracted his statement afterwards, I felt like.
Really? I'd love to see that too.
No, maybe not. I don't know.
Or what about him saying that Kamala Harris turned black? Or what about the fact that he said that Haitian immigrants were eating cats and dogs because he saw a video of a black woman from Canton, Ohio, not even Springfield, right? That specifically was going through a mental breakdown, right? Who was a U.S.-born citizen. So he assumed that they were a Haitian immigrant because they're black. Also, yeah, the Central Park Five, which I've already brought up to you, where he literally called for the execution, right, of them, even after they were exonerated based on DNA evidence.
From what I remember, he only called for that while they were still like under arrest, and everybody in the world thought they were guilty.
Even after has never apologized or acknowledged it.
Can we talk about Blinken?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the headline for the article, I have the whole headline here if you want to pull it up, sir. It is Biden campaign, Blinken orchestrated intel letter to discredit Hunter Biden laptop story, ex-CIA official says. And this is on judiciary.house.gov.
Judiciary.house.gov. Yeah, which is a Republican committee, right?
It's not
a Republican committee.
Oh yeah. The Republican committee has more seats than that's how they were able to question these people. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm talking about. It's testified by Michael Morrell. Testified that Mr. Blinken played a role in its inception, and then he said, "quote he was the impetus of the document."
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Impetus of the public statement designed, saying that like what they had evidence to believe at that time was that it was disinformation. But given that there was more evidence later on, that position can change. So you understand that you could have different access to information at different times, which would justify you believing in different things.
That is true what you just said, but that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about.
It absolutely does. Like,
okay,
that's
so
literally
what was
in
the
this
evidence? In
this circumstance, he thought that he had best evidence to believe that, right?
So,
and then immediately, right after that was identified, right, he's still not, perpetuating this idea.
So wait a minute. You're okay?
Do you think they stole the election or something in 2020?
You're okay with a head of a campaign reaching out to 51 spooks and asking them? Not that they said, "Hey, look, we're concerned about this. We need to write a letter." No. The Biden campaign requested it, and they are the impetus of the letter, which was, he said, in order to create a diversion from the real story. And
so you're now identifying malicious intent. How come he hasn't been held for anything in court for that then? Because you're saying he purposefully disseminated false information to get people to not believe what was actually true.
That is correct.
Tim,
yes.
Thank you so much for the $2. What evidence do you have for that?
I just read it to you.
That was not evidence that he specifically knew that it was false and yet decided to push it.
Oh, no, nothing they said was false because they made no claim.
No, you're saying that
claim.
No, you're saying that he believed it to be false, and then he perpetuated the idea that the Hunter Biden laptop was not different disinformation campaign.
Let me ask you this. Do you think potentially that the Biden administration may be of value to the 51 people who signed this letter?
The Biden administration might be relevant? Oh, I'm confused. Restate that?
The 51 individuals who signed this letter at the request of the Biden administration. Do you think that perhaps now they could be rewarded in the Biden administration since they did what he wanted and got his fake letter? This is, you can't be okay with this.
Oh my gosh. Wait, did you just use a slur for black people?
What?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Time he's used it as well.
Oh my God.
I wasn't sure if I caught it correctly the first time.
What word?
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna kick him immediately. That's fucking crazy.
I thought I misheard it the first time because I was like, I had never heard that used,
didn't even
actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he definitely did say it the first time. Chad is confirmed. Okay, I heard that.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know, because like that's crazy. I literally didn't even catch it.
I was wondering.
Time I was deep reading this article, trying to.
I'm like, did
Thomas,
Parker?
Did you find the source yet?
No, no. But we can move on to the next topic, like energy.
Okay, you know what, Thomas, we can move on. But can you at least admit that like you obviously didn't have a source?
Well, okay, but that is true that he did go after what. Well, you don't think Wikipedia is like a halfway decent source, especially when they have a
move on. This is at this point, it's really embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like I'm internally cringing. It's so bad. Go for it.
Well, are we talking about the lawsuit?
Yeah.
I did find the lawsuit. He was attempting. Oh, I just exited out of the tab because there was a list of his lawsuits. He was trying to claim, and whatever reason he claimed is he tried to claim they were discriminating against him in Mar-a-Lago. I'm not sure what like the motivation behind the lawsuit was, but he was trying to sue someone or something in Florida, and he claimed it was because they let Jewish people and African American people into Mar-a-Lago, and so they were being treated unfairly, I guess. Which is out of character for him, but also feels like maybe there's something else going on there.
I think there's little things like that people like, they're so like hidden deep in the internet that they like bury because nobody knows about that.
And but I think that makes everything.
No, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Like it doesn't, but in just like opportunity zones that put billions of dollars into like minority communities and made them safer. And
tell me, what do opportunity zones do particularly that you agree with?
Well, they make the minority communities safer and put more money into there and make them nicer.
How much money did you put into opportunity zones?
I heard it was billions.
So you don't know anything about these. You just think that he's okay.
I know the concepts of them, like
you know the concepts.
Yeah,
you're walking yourself right into that, bro.
Well, what do you know about them? Do you know anything about them?
Do I know anything about the opportunity zones? So I do know that, like, if you're going to support quote unquote opportunity zones in terms of funding towards communities in which it will need it to increase access to opportunities, probably shouldn't be, trying to defund the Department of Education or not supporting free public universities that would expand people's access to education, right? Or defunding HBCUs like Donald Trump did. He reduced funding from $500 million a year under Obama to $255 million a year, which was increased to $4 billion a year under the Biden-Harris administration.
He helped fund HBCUs and made them permanent, and he got like credit from some of the professors or something.
He reduced funding, and he tried to act like it was like him increasing it. He literally decreased funding by half.
Why is that like a big positive point of his presidency then?
It's not. It's not. It's actually a horrible point.
We're so close. We're so close to getting the point.
You're like almost there.
Gosh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
He reduced funding for the HBCUs?
Literally
I always hear
funding.
That he gave funding to HBCUs.
I know. That's why I told you he tried to portray it as he gave funding, but he literally reduced it from $500 million a year to $255 million a year, which then it was increased to $4 billion a year under Obama, or not Obama, under Biden-Harris. $2, thank you.
Okay, what about that criminal reform thing he did where all the nonviolent offenders got out of federal prison?
And Charles, think the $5.
The First Step Act.
First Step Act. Yeah, it's a bipartisan bill that was supported by both sides, and Republicans only would vote for it once it was the case that there was a Republican in office. So it was supported by both sides, not uniquely to Donald Trump, along with the fact that Donald Trump supports policies that keep people in prison for things like possession, right, across the entirety of the United States, because he wants to keep DRUGs, GS, like specifically at the M drug, right, particularly like, still federally illegal, whereas the Biden-Harris administration wanted to federally legalize it.
Wow. I feel like there is something to be said that he did sign the act and got it passed under his term.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, literally, like what any other president would have done. You know,
We're killing it.
Well, why didn't Obama get it done?
because again, Republicans wouldn't vote for it until a Republican was in office.
Yeah, but didn't he have a Democrat House and Senate?
Democrat House and Senate, not enough to be able to pass the bill, right? Not enough Republicans because you rely on getting it past the Senate, which is 60 votes because of the filibuster. So you need
This was
Republicans.
from 2018. It was introduced. That would have been
Yeah.
after Obama entirely, anyways, unless they had an earlier version of it.
Yeah, so there was like an earlier version of the First Step Act in terms of policy that was brought up and talked about, but it wasn't like what's it called? It wasn't put into law because Republicans wouldn't vote for it until then. But it was already talked about under Obama.
Jeez. Okay, well, what about everything he did for veterans?
Like what? Cutting the VA?
No, I thought he passed all these legislations for the VA and like raised their confidence level in the VA and like gave them like a choice of physicians so they could choose their own doctor and got them like better care and stuff.
There was a choice thing that I saw, but that's about it. But he cut the VA recently.
What?
Yeah,
That guy is all about veterans, I thought.
clearly not.
What?
Well, I thought he was gonna get rid of homelessness for veterans. What happened to that?
I don't remember.
Hasn't talked about that for shit since he got elected. What happened to the no tax on overtime, the no tax on tips, the no tax on Social Security? What happened to all of those things?
Well, from what I understand, that's still coming, right? I thought that's what all this new tariff income was going to pay for.
I fear it might always just be coming.
Seriously. Also, wait, one thing I just realized is that the VA Choice and Accountability Act of 2014. It was in 2014. That's under Obama. I completely misremembered that. That's not even attributable to Trump. Which one are you talking about with Trump?
There was one in 2018 I saw when I Googled.
Yeah, maybe I was misremembering. VA Choice.
Oh, VA. Sorry, I was thinking the Save Act. No, you're right. That's me.
VA Mission Act.
VA Mission. Okay, I do remember something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, okay, I do see this. Yeah, is that about choice? It removes barriers to veterans care in the community, and authorizes access to walk-in community clinics.
Yeah, expanded veterans access to private healthcare options
Okay.
is what I'm reading.
I don't even see it, but sure. Yeah, so again, what's the healthcare plan? I think that was asked already. And
Isn't he
said
going
concepts?
after like telehealth as well, which is going to impact like everyone, including especially veterans and stuff, and their access to healthcare?
I actually haven't even seen. Let me look at telehealth.
I remember hearing about that, and I just found an article from March 25th this year, so recently, that said Trump's back to office order will hurt veterans, VA docs and therapists say, and it's on NPR.
Oh, I see that. Yeah,
Yep.
diabolical.
Which makes sense because I imagine a lot of them probably do get telehealth, and that's how they have easy access.
Well, I mean,
Can you name a policy outside of the one that you mentioned that benefits veterans?
yeah, right here it says he also did in 2017 the VA Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act.
Are you reading this off a website?
Yeah. Well, I don't have all this just stored up in my head like you, man. I got it.
Wasn't he not put into office until 2018?
No, 2017.
Well, the vote was in 2017, but November, and then
No, the votes in every 4 years on 16. It's always on.
yeah.
even.
Donald Trump was president in 2017.
right, I
It
don't remember his
turns
vote.
over at like near the middle to like the end of January.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas. Next question. Can you give me a policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed, like an economic policy that benefit the middle class?
The tax and jobs cut act. No, Tax Cuts and Job Act.
Yeah, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Can you name
Yeah.
one provision within the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act?
It lowered taxes. I mean, I don't know.
That's not a provision.
But I mean, people's tax rates went down.
How so? Like by what provisions?
like the percentage, the rates, the marginal tax rates or something?
For what groups? For
For all groups, I thought.
For
I
how
thought
much? Salty thing with $10. Thank you so much.
do you know off the top of your head?
Well, is this the policy I'm citing? I do know some provisions of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act off the top of my head.
But do you know the exact numbers that you're trying to quiz me on?
I'll give you an example. Like the 2 times increase in child tax credit from 1,000 to 2,000, which Kamala Harris wanted to increase even further. That was something within the context of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That's like, for an example, an increase to the standard deduction. Those would be aspects of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act I'd actually agree with, right? But the rest of the tax cuts, if you were to literally decrease income tax at the same rate for everyone, right, that's going to mean that most of the money is going to go to people who are rich because that's who pays most of the taxes, rightfully so. So obviously you wouldn't want to replace percentage of income tax with a percentage of tariffs, because it is the case that tariffs are regressive by nature, meaning they're going to disproportionately negatively impact people who are lower income because they spend more of their income in terms of a percentage, right, on consumer goods.
I guess that does make sense, especially if.
So they'll pay a higher tax rate because the goods will go up in price. They'll pay more disproportionately. So you're shifting a tax that disproportionately makes the rich people pay with a tax that disproportionately makes people who are lower income pay. That's bad for the middle class. That's horrible for working people. That's beneficial to people who are rich and to big American companies that will have less competition because of the lowered global trade. Jeanette, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much.
Well, what about? I'll give you that argument. But what about Trump's open border policy? I like that one a lot.
You like Trump's open border policy?
Yeah.
You want the border to be open?
No, how he opens borders for trade. Like he's opening people's like trade barriers so we can export our products into.
Really? Tariffs are more trade barriers.
Well, they're the temporary tool to open the barrier. It's like the key to open the lock, and the tariffs are the key.
Okay, then please tell me why we put a tariff on Canada after doing the USMCA, which mitigated tariffs.
Well, he said, I can only go off what he said. He said it was to help stop help with the border. Like they need to pay like for security on their side of the border or something.
And how are the tariffs going to help with that? Why not just negotiate with our allies and be like, yo, you should do this to help us out?
I mean, yeah, that's...
Why do you threaten your allies not only with tariffs, but also with annexation?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, that's how he runs. That's always probably how he's run his business. So he's just like an old man who just is stuck in his techniques that have worked for him.
And
so
that's
now
somehow a good reason why he should be president of the United States.
Well... He's more of like an outsider wild card, in my opinion, where people are like interested to see how it goes because everyone's been tired of the same old bureaucratic political correct. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of going back like, oh, we like you see the videos about George Bush and you're like, it makes him look really smart when he's talking. And everyone's like,
were you gonna
that's not a great thing.
Literally.
Yeah, I know.
You remember back then people thought Bush was so dumb.
Yeah, and now they're in some ways people are like,
why did I say remember as if I lived back then, bro? That's crazy. Diabolical.
that one hurt.
That one really
that one hurt.
But he did, like, his first term he used tariffs and then he did get new deals done. And so I'm waiting to see like what new deals are going to come out of these tariffs. Like I'm waiting every day. I'm like, ooh, is the deal going to come out today? Like reading the paper.
The deal of walking back the tariffs.
Yeah, like what?
Oh no! It's going to be like this big announcement. It's like United States and China reach milestone deal to send them into the next century as global trade partners, and the stock markets are going to rip, and we're all going to be having lots of money.
Yeah, dude, your like understanding of global market like trade is just unbelievably low. It's like, dude, I can't wait to like see in the future that Trump's gonna do the art of the deal and that he's gonna get the best deal, the greatest deal that makes us all rich, richer than we've ever seen before, tremendously rich, richer, I promise you. Like, dude, like it's just like literally
that's what
like
we're hoping.
platitudes. It's like There's no substance here. It's just like, what did you just hear Trump say this? It's going to be tremendous and it's going to be bigger than you've ever seen. And you were like, I got to believe him.
I mean, we're in the first quarter. Like, yeah, the stock market is down, but what are we? We're 3 months in.
The stock market down. The Atlanta Fed projected a recession.
In the second quarter as well? We're in the second quarter, I believe.
3 months. So it's what? It's been 25% of his first year. So what is that? That's like do you ever watch football games?
Yeah.
So that's like 4 minutes into the first quarter we are of this football game, and he's down 7-0. Like there's
That's
plenty
not
of
being
time
down
to recover.
7-0. When you had some of like the largest drops, stock market, you have projections from the Federal Reserve that indicate a recession. Jerome Powell thinks there's
they
going to
threw
be a
an 80-yard
recession.
touchdown. We got to
And
bounce
they're going to
back.
have an increase in inflation. So you could possibly cause stagflation. That's like the worst set of indicators in the economy. And you're like, dude, he's making the economy great. We're gonna be rich, and we're about to like go to stagflation. Like that's like actually like the craziest take I've ever seen.
Or what if we do become rich though? Like, what if the
Harrison,
stock
thinking the
market?
$5. What if the recession makes us rich?
Yeah, well, the recession hasn't happened yet.
I too
That's
like to
why-
live my life in what ifs.
Yeah, seriously,
It's
dude.
a lot better.
Yeah, but it's a what if we
He's
get
like,
a recession.
dude. He's like, dude. He told his rich friends to buy the dip. They're like, dude, he made him rich. What about everyone else, bro?
What do you mean? If our stock market rips, I think we'll be all right. I think we're just like one deal away.
If the
from,
stock market rips, the stock market was not ripping, and you guys were like on this whole tirade of like, oh, the money doesn't actually matter. What matters is long-term production. And now it's like you switch back to like, oh, I care about the markets.
Well, I mean, I think the markets are a little bit important, but they do.
A little bit. Now it's just a little bit.
They do like they do go up and down a lot. So, like, this could just be what do they call it, a correction, and then
I
could
wish
bounce
you guys would have said that under Biden. I wish
It
that would
seems
have
to
been
go
the
up and
typical
down
argument.
the most usually when Trump's in office. Isn't that crazy? Like, I looked up some of the historic NASDAQ lows, and like most of the top 10 were all during Trump's last term. It's crazy.
Yeah, but his stock market, like went up 70% or something during his term.
Because it dropped to like the
70%?
record most. Of course it's going to go, I mean, definitely not 70%, but like, of course it's going to go back up if you tank it the most historically. Because you're not wrong. Like, it does go up eventually at some point, hopefully, but...
No,
Yeah,
his first
it
term
just
he
would have
didn't
gone up
tank it.
more otherwise. It just would have gone
yeah,
up more
did he
it just
otherwise
take it?
because
becomes
Donald
zero
Trump.
then, so it's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
good.
Exactly. We would have been if Donald Trump. I was actually scared Donald Trump was going to do this. That he was just going to sit back and just let the economy do itself, right? And it was going to look good because the economy was going to keep trending in the correct direction. He could have done that. He could have just literally played golf, and it would have been better than it is right now.
Well, he can't just play golf the entire time.
If he did, the
Keep that
economy would
mindset.
literally be better right now. I'm not trolling. If
Who would
Trump
run the
just did it,
country?
if Trump literally did fucking nothing, the economy would be better right now.
Actually, I don't know, because then JD would be in charge, and that's scary. So I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think I would prefer JD to Trump, to be honest.
Honestly,
JD
he's
doesn't-
kind of already in charge, let's be real. We
Yeah,
really
for
think
real.
Trump's
Or-
cooking this up.
Really,
J-
for real.
JD ain't got that charisma that Trump got though. Like Trump is like
We can agree on that.
What charisma? What charisma?
what I mean, he's just so memeable. Like he's got a
He
clip.
he is memeable.
The couches love him, all right? Don't hate on the charisma.
Yeah, the charisma. I mean, you can't doubt the charisma.
He walks into an IKEA, it's all cheers.
And JD Vance really don't got that. Like he'd be a boring president. Like I wouldn't even want that guy. Like, I need somebody who's gonna make me laugh like Trump.
Okay, fighting climate.
Well, no, I care about
about us being us being safe, like what do they call it, peace through strength.
and I think that's kind of what conservatives believe in, like a strong military where we'll have peace as long as we are so strong nobody will ever like attack us.
No, we're just gonna attack everyone else and annex them.
Well, we're not attacking anybody.
Really? He wanted to annex Canada. He wanted to
that's
annex
just tough
Greenland
talk.
and
He's all bark, no bite. You guys know that. He's a big soft.
We
then
shouldn't know that, though. We shouldn't have to like play a guessing game with our president's tweets every day. Like that's crazy.
Exactly. And also, why didn't you apply that to any of his policies? Like he claimed he wanted all of these policies. Why didn't you just blame he's all bark no bite? He claims it's the art of the deal. Why don't you just claim it's all bark no bite?
Well,
You're a cult member.
He's still barking. I don't know, a cult member. What do you mean?
You're gonna justify anything he does. Is there like, can you give me a single thing he could do that would be like, you'd be like, nope, I'm not gonna support him. Like maybe sexually abuse a woman, or like undermine our democracy, or like call for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution. Like, give me something. What could he do that would be like the line where you're like, I'm done?
If we go into a depression, I'll be flipping the
Is
script.
that it? So it's only if we go into the next Great Depression.
Well, no, like a depression. It doesn't have to be the Great Depression, but a depression would mean that like he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing.
How about this? A 3.7% drop in GDP in the first quarter?
Well, no, I would have to. No, not just one quarter. You can't judge somebody on one quarter. Like,
okay. What about the second quarter being also that much?
Bro, if we're in like the second or third year and we're like down still,
so the presidency's pretty much done at this point in your scenario.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like I said, we're only 5 minutes into the game. This is a 4-quarter game, and I still think.
How about this? Do you think that like Trump is better for immigration?
Oh yeah. Now we can talk.
Okay, then how do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump had more border crossings at the end of his 4 years comparative to Biden?
Well, give me a source for that.
Yeah, I'm talking about daily border crossings on average. We're lower at
Obama was technically like the hardest on that stuff out of all of them, by far.
What? That is no. Now I know you guys have to be screwing with me because that's
no, that's from the Customs and Border Protection.
No, bro. What? Do you have that pulled up? Like how many?
And Border Protection.
How many? If you're right about that, I will be shocked.
Will you regret your vote for Trump?
Wait, you said there was more. What did you say? Are you tricking me with words?
No, I'm not tricking you with shit. I said there was daily average crossings at the end of Trump's term compared to the end of Biden's term were lower at the end of Biden's term. So if you want to talk about what it was in the fourth quarter, that's the score.
That's the score.
Talk about this fourth quarter shit.
What was the total score? I think we got to take the total score. So how many total immigrants did they have crossover?
You would judge it based upon when their policies got into effect, correct?
Well, I mean, if somebody allowed somebody to score a ton of times in the first 3 quarters, but they just scored more in the fourth quarter, doesn't mean they won the game.
Okay, how about this? Trump and his first admin net lost jobs. Okay, let's look at the 4 years.
Well,
Biden gained over 15 million jobs. Trump net lost jobs. Who did better?
Biden got
let's
a
look at the total
situation
score
for that stat.
Let's look at the total score. Person that had a mustache.
No, because that's that had COVID.
Oh, now we can't look at the total score. Oh,
well, COVID. I mean, let's look at the total score of inflation then, if we're gonna go that route, right?
Wait, right? You don't look at totals because you look at like what they did, what they influenced to get passed. Look what happened under the administration. You look what they did to cause that.
Well, Biden didn't do much to cause all those jobs, right? Because they were just coming back from COVID.
Oh, again, just because it happens under the administration doesn't mean it's caused by them. So then you say the same thing for inflation, right?
Yeah, I mean, COVID just kind of threw a wrench in both of their presidencies, kind of. And the numbers are so skewed because of COVID. So it's really hard to compare, like, how their policies impacted stuff. That's what makes I feel like this whole situation so tricky. Is like anybody can be like, oh, because of COVID, or oh, he was doing good before COVID, or he recovered really good from COVID. But really, it's just tough to separate
you can
variables.
Point to the policies, push the gold medal, but you didn't know any of the policies, right?
No, I knew the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
You didn't know like what it did, though.
I knew it cut taxes.
Jazzy, thank you so much for the flying
just
jets.
says it
Thank
in
you
the
so much,
title.
Jazzy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Like it's like Bernie's Medicare for all. Like it says it right in the title. It gives Medicare for all. Like I don't know the exact.
It's more than Medicare for all because it provides more than just that. That's just a name.
Yeah.
Like you get dental as well. There's things in Medicare that are not, or things in Medicare for all that are not in Medicare.
Yeah. I just knew it cut taxes and it did something with jobs. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Okay. And if we actually look at the overall effect of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you can get this from a liberal and conservative economist from Harvard. Look up the macroeconomic effect of the 2017 tax reform bill, and they estimated that it is the case that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did around 8 to 16 billion dollars in GDP growth per year, on 0.04% to 0.08%. Right, so that's like.
So it grew the GDP and cut people's taxes?
And then you're not letting me finish. And that was for $190 billion of debt-related spending, according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. So the amount we're putting into it, right, is like significantly more than what we're getting out of it in growth.
In growth. But what about the money people save on the tax cuts?
It doesn't provide growth for our economy. Other things would provide more growth. Like, for example, an increase to the child tax credit, like what we saw Kamala Harris particularly advocating for when implemented in 2021, reduced childhood poverty by 45%. That gives us a lot more than something like the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in of itself, and it would cost less. Because you're talking about major tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires, and we're talking about predominantly cutting taxes for people in need.
And it has better like byproducts too, because we have super low birth rates that they're concerned about. So it encourages people to have children, which would like build the workforce going forward in the future.
Absolutely.
All comes together. Crazy.
Dang. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've just been lied to.
You have. That's what happens when you're in a cult.
Well, I mean, I don't go to no rallies or nothing. I don't have a Maga hat, so I've never like considered it.
And that's why you should change.
Ooh.
Come over to the light side. Stop. Get off the dark side. Come to the light.
Go towards the light is a
I am
crazy
going
thing to say
towards
when
the light.
arguing against a cult.
I feel myself coming to the light.
James, thank you so much. I appreciate the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I got a few other people to thank real quick. Hannah, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Hannah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Give me some W's for Hannah in the chat. Jesus Christ sent me $2. Thank you so much, Jesus.
Oh yeah, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Charlotte, thank you so much for the $2. Samantha with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for trust me, bro. Lily, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lily. I really appreciate that. Give me some W's for Lily. Maureen with the $3 and then Prescott with the $1. Thank you so much, yo. Yeah, Thomas.
You got.
So, do you think you're like changing your view now, or like, do you actually think that like you were just like, do you still think that Trump's better?
I'm getting close. You do have 3.2 thousand people in there. So if there's another influencer out there named Dean Withers, you owe me $100 for the bet that we had earlier.
Wait, Dean's one of my friends, right?
Yeah, he owes me $100 too, by the way.
Yeah. Dean owes me like $5 million, dude. It's crazy. Like, how does Dean owe you $100?
I actually debated him earlier, and we made $100 bet, and I definitely won. I just didn't know how to articulate it at the time because we both didn't know what we were looking at.
What was the bet?
I said that China's GDP was growing at a faster rate than America's, and he said that was absolutely not true.
How did we prove and or disprove this here today?
Oh, yeah, over what time period?
Just growing over the past few years. But so he just typed in China GDP and took the number from 22 and 23 and said, oh, it goes down. But if you actually type in the GDP growth rate, you'll see that China's GDP grows at 5.2% and ours grew at 2.9%. But what he was doing, he didn't know.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know why Dean would agree to that, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, it's on the very first debate on his YouTube stream today. All you got to do is look it up. It's like 2 minutes in.
Yeah,
what was the bet again? Whose is growing faster?
I was betting that China's GDP is growing faster, and he was.
I mean, for sure, they're.
Yeah, no,
They make everything.
He said that was absolutely not true and bet me $100. It's the first debate on his YouTube video for today.
I feel like you're capping.
No, look, pull it up. You pull up his YouTube video right now. It's like 2 minutes in. The bet is loud and clear for everyone to hear.
Well, I'd have to watch back, but
can I pull it up? I can pull it up.
Maybe he does. I don't want to go over it right now. You guys can figure that out yourself.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna litigate shit. That's all you.
Yeah, I hear you. Dean Withers, you owe me $100, my friend.
But if he sends it to me, I promise you, I might send it to you.
All right.
I might is crazy.
Yeah.
If you can collect it from me, I'll give you half of it.
Dinners.
You collect it, I'll give you half.
MH, think of it $2. That's diabolical.
Yeah. So
wait, did you actually say that? Yo, Dean can send me. Oh, Katie with the $50. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much.
I'd also love $50.
W's for Katie in the comment section right now. Thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give me some W's for Katie. All right, Thomas, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. If you can give me that 100, I'll get you 50.
All right.
All right. Later, man.
He's
Dude, a
probably not gonna
50%
get that.
cut is crazy.
I know that is great. That is great.
No wonder that man loved tariffs so much. He has no idea how money works.
I know, right? That's actually diabolical. It's diabolical. Harrison, thank you for the $2. Thank you. I think Sid is actually at work right now.
I was actually trying to get in here when that one guy was arguing that like we should allow abortions for like rape victims, because I definitely had a lot of questions for that one.
Yeah, definitely. Lexi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did, sir.
What's your birth year?
I am 18 years old.
Birth year, I meant. Oh, that they were definitely not 18.
I was gonna say, yeah.
All right, let's get this next person up here.
What is 18 nowadays? What year is that?
For real.
I don't know.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 24. Waste your time, but I also want to say that
I appreciate you. I'm just looking for some debates. I do kick people off right away, especially on TikTok. Harrison, think of it $2. No, Harrison, you're gonna get blocked again.
Damn.
Harrison, keep this person who's just homophobic. They keep sending money, and then I just delete their messages immediately when they send the money, and I'm just like, thank you for the money, for no one to see your message.
There was a man who also used to send me like a couple dollars just to yell at me all the time on Venmo, and I was like, and keep it up, actually. You know what? All right.
You know what, Harrison? Do it again, Harrison. You'll literally just get it deleted. You know what's up? How old are you? How old are you? All right, we need to get this next person up here. Chat. I'm chat. Everyone, Dean got fucking verified today.
That's exciting.
I know, right? So exciting. They literally said no to him last time. He had like 2
I'm
million followers.
surprised you're not verified.
Yeah, no, they don't like me. Like my main account's been banned for so long.
Mine was really random when I was smaller.
Really?
I was like shocked. It's based off of news articles, you know, and so like enough like random article like Business Insider and stuff did a couple of random like things on me, and I submitted it like 3 or 4 times, and eventually they just said yes based off. So just keep submitting it, because like it's really random. I didn't even have new articles, I think, when they finally accepted it.
Yeah, I'll have to try. Maybe stuff through the Unfuck America tour will
yeah,
get me all
New
the
York
ones I
Times,
need.
hit us up.
Yes, I definitely will.
The
Definitely
Atlantic, write about
need
us.
that. That's what I need. I have like one on Fox News because I like.
Yeah, that's a verifiable source.
Yeah, I know. I saw Hunter Biden, and then I was like, I have to take an X photo with him so that I can get on Fox News.
Excellent.
And it worked. So.
Thank God. That I've always wanted to be on Fox News. That's how you know you've made it.
I know, crazy, right? Actually crazy. But chat, this account is so cooked. Like, this account is so restricted. It's unbelievable. Like every single one of my accounts, like when I go live, it gives me this like restricted thing for like integrity and authenticity.
Ooh. I got my first video taken off of Instagram today.
Really? I've never gotten one taken off Instagram, I don't think.
Yeah.
What was it for?
It's because the kid that I had beef with in high school is JD Vance's like head media advisor guy or whatever, and like I used to try and like fight him in the hallways every day because he's always been the worst. And so I just told a story time, and I guess they're like, that's encouraging like violence against. And I was like, no, and I would still do it because he's still the worst.
That is so diabolical. That is diabolical. Yeah, Rio, did you vote for Donald Trump? Hello? Okay. All right. Let's get this next person up here. Do give it a second, y'all. Do give it a second. By the way, everyone, I just wanted to let y'all know I did get a laptop. I got a laptop today so I can stream from Texas, everyone. I'm so addicted to streaming.
Yeah.
I had to get a laptop to be able to do it. Chat, do I bring my camera? Yeah, yay or nay? Yay or nay?
I have those little I got like the fancy microphone, like the ones that like look like microphone sticks, so we can run around doing like dumb street stuff.
Based. I'm gonna have to because
I got 2 so that someone can accompany me on doing dumb quests.
Nice. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello, Little. Did you vote for Donald Trump? Oh, they must have accidentally sent a request. There's a lot of people that accidentally sent a request.
That's crazy. Here. When I request, I just sit there with anxiety for like half an hour.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I was just wondering, are you a part of the Georgia Democrats?
No, I'm not. That's a different Parker.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You're good. I think that's the first time someone's ever asked me if I'm Parker Short.
Was that the kid that went by? I think
Yeah.
we're mutuals. He's funny.
Yeah, it was for I forget what song it was.
Yeah, he DMs me sometimes just like funny stuff, and sometimes I like get confused with you two as well, and I think it's you.
That's really funny. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 32.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
100%.
And why so?
There is a huge portion of America that feels disenfranchised by the other side. And it's the constant attacks and demeaning words that are used in these debates to describe the people that vote for Trump. So I think you push enough. We don't mind his brash nature if he's going to put America first and the people that aren't spoken for to the front of the line.
So who cares about like the hate that the right targets towards trans people, immigrants, people who are black, right, or any marginalized community in the United States? It's only when it's targeted towards white men that it becomes an issue, and that we're sick of it.
All right, pick one, right? All right, so if you want to say trans, how are they specifically targeted?
Well, we can't talk about that on TikTok Live, but I like any further than that. But anything else we can. I'd love to be able to talk about that on TikTok, but they don't allow us to.
Okay, so then if you want to say immigrants, how are they specifically targeted?
Dehumanized by Donald Trump?
Yeah, how so?
Saying people coming from Mexico that they're rapists and criminals coming to the country when he just needed to look into a mirror and realize that was himself.
Well, no, so that's taken out of context. So you can.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. So if you look,
he said they're not bringing their best. The people that are coming, they're rapists, they're criminals.
Okay, so again, we can disagree on that, but
they're also eating the dogs.
Yeah, that's what he also said.
So when you look at who he's actually deporting right now,
90% of which have found to have no criminal history in the United States. I saw that stat today.
No, that's okay. I don't know where you're getting that information because that's not true. When you look at who's being deported, and I forgot it was somebody in Congress is out there going for a guy that they say was deported accidentally. But when they look at who is being deported, they have criminal records. So
you think everyone being deported has a criminal record?
When you come here illegally, and so
actually, wait, hold on. I need to clarify this. If you have a criminal record, we should not let you in the country.
100%.
Or we should deport you.
If you have a criminal record.
Yeah.
And you came here illegally.
Yeah. So like.
Yes.
Or okay, wait. So should you not let someone legally immigrate to the country if they have a criminal record?
That's correct.
Andrew Tate.
Even if they want to go through the legal process. Okay, I'll give you an example. You don't want them to legally immigrate into the country, but you want them to be president of the United States. The same qualifications that you put on for immigration, right? You don't even put on for president of the United States. Because typically I think that citizens, right, aren't qualified to be president of the United States, right? Most citizens aren't, right? But then you're saying that like there should be harsher qualifications for who's allowed to be a citizen than who's allowed to be president? Doesn't really make sense.
When you look at, okay, so you got to let me finish my thoughts before we keep going in different directions. Okay, I keep getting cut off a little bit. But to that point, Trump has been constantly attacked, and I don't want to really divert, but when you look at the Russian hoax against him, that was false. When he's being prosecuted for these crimes that he was never convicted of. They were just
he was convicted of
He wasn't
34
being-
felonies,
Yeah.
and he was held civilly liable of forcibly penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will, unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people.
It was a very biased trial. You
Oh,
can't
now it's
go to a
biased. So
place like
before,
New
so you
York.
see how he just moved the goalpost? He went from, oh, he was never actually convicted of these things, to, he was convicted of these things, but the jury's biased.
Again, you're not letting me finish my points here. If you keep
Because it was dumb.
No, okay, so there it is, right? I'm
There it
trying to
is.
have a
You call out
discussion,
me
and
making a wrong
you
statement. You call me
start
making
calling
a
names.
bad statement.
I'm trying.
No,
I'm
I didn't call
asking
you the name. I
questions.
called the argument the name. I said it was a bad argument.
No, okay. This is you're proving my point where it's like you can't even have a discussion. I've never called you names or called your arguments dumb. I'm trying to bring up points
Because they
hear your
weren't.
side of it. All right. Well, see, this is where it's like, you lose people like me where I'm trying to bring up points and then you just interrupt me and then call it dumb. Where I'm saying if you're having a trial,
Lose you? What do you mean by lose
All right, we're
you?
getting derailed. What's your next point?
This is my point, right? Where I'm trying to bring up things where, from our standpoint, it's like, yeah, if you come here illegally and you have a criminal record and get deported, it falls on deaf ears when you're like, yeah, Trump's just deporting everyone. No, he's not. When we look at it, it's people with a criminal
But they
background.
didn't have criminal records.
Yes, they
Yeah,
did.
and again, I went over that point. You didn't want to address it, right? You think that if someone has a criminal record, they should not be allowed to legally immigrate to the country. But if they have a criminal record, they should be allowed to be president.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a divergence there, saying, okay, let's
Do you want to
point it at
address
Trump.
that?
I think I did, where
Go ahead.
it's a very biased legal system, and I think he was unfairly gone after.
Okay, so all the immigrants were also unfairly gone after, right?
No, I don't think
Nope.
so. And
Nope.
I mean,
It's totally legitimate when it's applicable to immigrants, but not legitimate when it's applicable to orange men.
yeah, no, that's where we disagree.
I'm pretty sure we know that he did.
Yeah,
No,
a
no,
unanimous
no.
decision from a
We
jury
don't just
indicated
think
that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, and see, that's where I think the disconnect is. Yeah, I don't.
Is that we believe in the court system and that you don't?
Yeah, I do. Well, that's
Oh.
a little dangerous there, because here's where
We believe in the rule of law and you don't?
Here's where I think it's not fair, is when we've been lied to about saying that
By Trump?
there was no. Again, let me just finish my thought, for God's sake.
No, just go ahead. It's fine.
Okay,
I
thank you.
apologize.
When they go after, they do the Russian dossier, and we figure out, oh, that was all a lie, right? So that's where we're like, okay, wait a minute, none of
What
this
was
is
the
making
the
sense.
Russian dossier was?
That
I'm
Hillary Clinton,
confused what you're even
they
saying.
made that up. That was a made-up story.
And are you trying to say like the Russia collusion was a lie?
Yes, 100%. It was actually.
Well, it wasn't a lie because it was just investigated. There was interference from Russia in the 2016 election. There just wasn't like a justified conclusion or a collusion.
Substantial or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that dossier, the dossier, that was proven to be false. So when you say, yeah,
What about it?
That was all made up. Hillary Clinton made all of that up.
She made up the dossier.
Yes.
What did she? Okay. So, okay, interesting. So let's at least address this, right? Are you saying that like if they're a liar, you shouldn't vote for them, or like what's the point of this?
Yeah, that's kind of a blanket statement if they're a liar, because there's certain things that we see from any politician, right, where we go, okay, that's a lie, and you can do that with any of the current president or past president. So the blanket statement and say if they're a liar, no, that'd be tough to, because I'm going to put all of us in a corner there.
I'm confused with how that was a response.
Well, what was your question? If you give it to me, because you're trying to make like a blanket statement for me, and then you're going to pinpoint it on Trump, unless you could change my mind there, because I'm not going to say, yeah, if they're a liar, because I think that on both sides there's liars.
So then what'd you get out of saying that about the quote unquote Russian dossier?
Because what I want to avoid is making a blanket statement.
What I'm just like, what are you getting from that? What is that getting for your position? What you're pulling from it? What are your conclusions?
Well, because again, I don't want to say yes, and then you're going to divert it into going after.
I'm
Trump
not even
now.
asking for an answer to the question. I was asking what was the point of you bringing it up?
Bringing up what?
What you said about the Russian dossier.
So when I brought that up, my point was when you look at it as a whole, I feel, and a lot of people feel, that Trump was unjustly prosecuted on a lot of things. And then we saw that a lot of it was a lie, how are we supposed to believe any of it?
Okay, so you're talking about a prosecution, right? Not being a lie. You're talking about him just being investigated for something that didn't follow through with exactly with those charges. So the court system worked, but now the court system isn't working. Why was the first one working, but the second one is not?
I don't know the specifics on the first, because you're talking about the Russian dossier, right?
You're saying that this was some faulty investigation against him, even though there was interference of Russia in the 2016 election.
Right. So you're saying why didn't the court, you're saying that the courts actually worked that time because he wasn't prosecuted on that.
Yeah, he wasn't convicted for that because
Sure.
he wasn't there was no evidence to indicate that. But when there was evidence to indicate things, then he was convicted. That's the point. So you should believe in the rule of law. You should believe in the court system, right? You should believe in the Constitution. Am I right? I thought those are foundational American values.
I'm confused. Do we believe in the court system or not here?
Yep, I believe in it. Do you believe in it, Valley? Is it most likely accurate, the court system? Oh, Valley might be leaving here.
I think we broke.
I think we broke him. Oh, he left.
One simple question.
Yeah, literally one question, just the entire house of cards crumbled.